dead. Move like shadows, hearts are lead. Clash for pixels, not for dreams. Silent screams. Epic solo tears the night. Whips of sorrow, rips of spite. Guitar house, full of souls. No control, no control. No control, no control. Starship zombies, click those keys. In a void that never frees. Depression rising, endless seas. Grief consumes like under seas.
All right, let's turn down the tunes. Well, y'all can hear me. That's good, right? You'll be able to hear the content creator. Yeah, the pretentious dude who makes you come to talk to live. Like, you got to listen to it. Lame. What a weirdo. Welcome in. How you doing? Good to see everybody. Hope you're doing well. Man, first question from Joshua. How did APAC get screwed? So, let's jump right into that. Let's just get into that. What happened? Well, the same thing that happened to server 10 happened to 187. And I'm going to be honest. If it happens one time, I'm like, look, that really sucks. And I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. That's how I typically react about that. I'm just going to be honest. Here's how I typically react. When something like that happens, I go, look, it happens. There's problems, etc. But this is now the second time it's happened in a 3-month span. So we'll put it on the screen so y'all can see what we're talking about. But this is the second time this has happened in a 3-month span. So now we really need to bring up this as an issue, as in like this is now something we could classify as reoccurring. I'm gonna put it on the screen here in the background just so that y'all can see announcements and on all the different things that are going on. So bam, we got that right there. So what happened was server 187 was supposed to be on a bye week. Server 187 was in fact not on a bye week, and server 187 got thrown into an Incursions and immediately gave up 4 quadrillion points. Do I blame them for giving up 4 quadrillion points? No. But this is a problem. And the fact that this has now happened multiple times in a short time span, I think it needs to be talked about. Because now we're not talking about a one-off issue that just, oh, look, oopsies happened. Now we're talking about something that's happened multiple times that is, again, not trying to be a sensationalist, but it is game-breaking. Right, and this obviously doesn't account to the other APAC server that was supposed to have Incursions that ended up getting nothing. And we can go to STFC.pro and pull up that information. So you had oopsies, right? Here's going to switch it over to APAC, where they've only had 2 that were running, and that's not accurate. That says 188. Accurate. But, wrong button. We've now got a lot of frustrated people. And keep in mind that we're talking, even though APAC is a small region, and I'm not trying to be offensive to you APACers, I appreciate the Asia Pacific people existing, all the people that play from New Zealand, Korea, even Australia, Malaysia, Thailand, wherever you're at, Indonesia. That's like 15,000 people. Like that, so it's, even though they're the smallest subset of servers, number one, this happened on a US server, to the point that every alliance on server 710 leading into Incursions, what do we tell people now? All the alliances, whether we're allied or enemies or whatever, everybody is now told to move out of territory, move into a spot and shield. All of them. All because this now becomes something that we dealt with, and then now we see server 187 dealing with it, getting thrown into an Incursion when they were told they were not going to be doing Incursions. So, as Ultra, who is here, says, 187 on a bye, then it takes them 1 hour to stop the Incursion between 187 and 201. It was meant to be 188 and 201. Then they restart it with 188 and 201. APAC Incursion start at stupid o'clock a.m. So for those that don't know, the start times are pretty unified because, well, they look over at the APAC and they go, y'all exist, but we're not going to cater times to you. So I think it's I'd have to math it out because obviously there's so many time zones in Asia Pacific, but I think it's something like 1 a.m. for, was it New Zealand? It's 1 a.m. when Incursions starts, right? The middle of the heckin' night. Correct me if I'm wrong, APAC server. So now we're getting into screw ups that are happening multiple times. And that's a problem. Now, I will say, I do appreciate that we had one of the largest earthquakes ever recorded yesterday off the coast of Russia, and they put out peace shields for people. I mean, that's good. Like, so I'm not just trying to say everything's a negative, but now we have a multiple time huge issue happening that affects thousands and thousands of players. That is problematic. New Zealand starts at 3 a.m., 1 a.m. for East Coast Australia, 12 a.m. for Korea, Japan, 11 p.m. for West Coast Australia / Singapore. So yeah, that's first off, that's a lot of time zones. That's basically the continental U.S. in terms of time zones. And second of all, that's in the middle of when most average human beings who are decent human beings, unlike me and Ultravetica, are sleeping. So all those poor bases in territory without shields, etc., got raided. And I only really want to harp on this, the loudness, because this has happened now twice in 3 months. Right now, Ultravetica wrote up a big post about this in the feedback channels. And Ultravetica was trying to be as, kind and not butthole about it as possible. But as you can imagine, there are a lot of people very angry with this. I got to go find where it's at. It was many, many hours ago at this point. Scroll. Was this it? There we go. Here's Ultravetica. And you can see what they said. If you, everyone involved, really care and understand when it comes to matching up the incorrect server for an incursion, how about some better communication and a better turnout for 187 players who were raided unexpectedly during your mess up? Here's part of the issue we have had, where some players have been told you can't get comped for all the things you lost. Now, some people have been, and this goes back to customer support being consistently inconsistent. Remember, we talked about that last stream, consistently inconsistent. Well, here we are again. Context on APAC, Incursions started at 3 a.m. for New Zealand, 1 a.m. for, we already read all that. If we have arenas and territory capture happen at the times, that makes sense for the time zone that APAC is in. Surely it makes sense to have Incursions start at an appropriate time for players to participate. 201 got up to 4 quadrillion points in an hour. Players not expecting this. Some of them asleep because it was stupid o'clock in the morning. Even restarting the Incursion for 188 and 201 was not the best choice. At that time, it was done. For the players that lost a lot of resources, the compensation chest is laughable. If you want your players to have confidence in the game and the people behind the scenes, please do better. Moose, great to see you. Welcome in. And I want to point out that, look, not only did you have this issue with 187, you had 188 not getting their run. That obviously is going to disrupt things. And communication was very mad. Now, in the defense of Scopely, I'm going to play devil's advocate for 30 seconds. There aren't a lot of folks who work at Scopely who are based in APAC time. And there's a reason for that. To go back into the annals of Star Trek Fleet Command history, you have to go back about 4 years when STFC was making a push into the APAC area. About 5-6 years ago now. It's been a while. But they were paying content creators in Japan. They were driving buses around Japan with like big billboards to play Star Trek Fleet Command. They opened an office in Japan. And what they had hoped to do, Scopely that is, was to capture the APAC market. And suffice to say, they didn't do that very well. Now, again, that's not me being a hater, but they did not do a great job at that. And you can see that by the fact that, we'll just go to stfc.pro, pull up the server list and look at how many servers are in APAC. There's not a lot. There's 5 of them, with the most recent one being a year and a half old, right? So they have not done a great job of capturing that market. And part of that also is going to result in not having a lot of players, or a lot of employees who are in that area. Now, they do have a couple of employees who work here in terms of like they live in the Asia Pacific area, but then they also, their times are normal European times. So they basically have to live a really weird schedule. So anyway, you've got server 201, which basically dominates. As you can see, they're undefeated in Incursions. They basically always have been undefeated in Incursions. 199 is basically the perennial loser. And then you have Tanagra and Unimatrix that when they go against each other, they fare decently well, or when they go against 4 lights. But if it's 201, they tend to dominate. But to me, that's not really the point. 201 is very big on, we're going to raid, we're going to go crazy. They really like being the only undefeated server left in Incursions that has, played more than 10 times. So they're very proud of that, and no shade thrown at 201. But when 107 is literally going like, yeah, we don't have Incursions. Surprise. Yes, you do. When 188 is preparing to go against 201, whether they're going to win or not, and then don't get it, that changes how you would approach the game. My biggest issue is that it's continually happening, and there's a lack of communication. And there's clearly a mix-up in Scopely because, Incursions don't just pop off. Like, it's not a roll of the dice random number generator. Somebody did not pass along correct things, and now we had told all of 187 there was no Incursion. It's like, Incursions don't just like switch up, right? They don't just magically go bing bong. No, somebody needs to double check their work Whether it got passed to the community team wrong and they answered incorrectly, or they passed along incorrect information, or whether for whatever reason they did a typo and said it's 187s on buy instead of 188. Whatever the reason was, it's a continual screw up that makes people mad. Now, another part of this title in the stream is that Star Trek Fleet Command, for anybody curious, is hiring a community manager. If you're interested, if you're out there saying, hey, I want to be a community manager, here you go. What does this mean, though? Well, it does mean that one of your current community managers, at least one, is moving on to something else, whether that's in-house, whether that is, another company, whatever. I already know the answer, but I'm going to tell you. But I will say, you got one moving. Now, you got one being hired. And let me be very clear. This is from the same company that has yet to have any consistency in Star Trek Fleet Command, right? No matter what tends to happen, is STFC hires a new community manager, and that community manager is full of life and excitement, and they want to make things better. And to be very clear, I'm not throwing any shade at any community manager. Hammy, Obsidian Hamster, Ares, Panic, Eco, all the ones I've worked with all come in the same way. Bright-eyed, bushy-tail, we're going to save the game, we're going to fix the world. And what ends up happening is you go look at the numbers for yourself. You go look at dates and times. Give it 2 years. All of them are burned out and ready to move somewhere else. Because as JC says, they just basically become a punching bag for Scopely because they don't get great help from Scopely, it would seem, going by how little they communicate or what they're allowed to say. And then from the opposite side, they just become the punching bag for the players who are constantly frustrated, like Matthew Horton, who has had words to say in the past. But I don't have an issue with them as people, right? And then as they get more and more burned out, what ends up happening? They start being a little bit more sarcastic in their responses. Their humor gets a little bit more like there's jabs in the humor. And I'll be honest, it's tough for me to blame the community managers for that, because I understand this is a horrible spot. I don't need to be honest. I would actually really enjoy, I think, being community manager for a game. I really do. Not this one. I'm not even going to bother applying. Number one, I know the people who are in charge of community wouldn't even read it. They'd see my name and immediately boot me out. So duh. But the situation they get put in is not easy. Now, all of that said, I'm acknowledging it's not particular individuals' faults, whatever. This goes back to something I was talking about pretty recently with all of you. The game itself, the company itself has huge glaring flaws. Now, I made a very, I felt, poignant, important, please listen video where there was passion involved, where I told them they need to get their crap together. We talked about the amount of players they lost in a time frame. Well, hiring a new community manager can actually help that, but it needs to go a lot deeper than just replacing somebody who's moving on or changing departments or whatever. Like Eco, who changed departments. Eco went from community manager to working in live ops. Some of you have liked some of the things that he's done in live ops. Some of you haven't. Neither here nor there. The company has got to change. In terms of Star Trek Fleet Command, because not every Scopely company does the same thing. Specifically STFC, right? Specifically STFC. Now, there also is reason to be, if you want to be positive out there. I know there's some of you that are so far gone, I'll never get you to be positive. And I've learned that, and I'm not going to try to win you back. I'm just going to try to be here to help you when you need help. But for those of you who want to be positive, one thing I can say is new community managers coming in with that excitement, with that bright-eyed bushy tail, have resulted in good changes. Let me give you an example. Right, when Eco first came in, one of the things that I brought up with Eco that I had been pushing for years was consistent, reliable, always happening, once a month, bonus chest, as in refinement, the bonus refinery. And was one of the projects they jumped on board, bonus refinery. And what happened? We got it. That was because of a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, happy Eco. We want to change things, make things better for the players. Hammy, same way. What was one of Hammy's examples? Hammy dedicated, if y'all remember, go back to the chats that we had, the times having them on screen. What are the things that we talked about? They wanted, after we discussed with them, to push the importance of quality of life every month. For those of you who are stuck in the weeds, drowning in, tech debt and pain in the game like Ultravetica, you might not remember that just 2 years ago, every update did not come with a quality of life improvement. Now, every update comes with some form of quality of life improvement. Every single one. Now, you might debate on whether or not that quality of life improvement is good enough, but every update comes with it. That was a byproduct of a new community manager being bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and wanting to make things better. Right? So, be very clear. I'm not individually calling out any CM saying that they're bad. I understand they get burned out. It's a very tough job, but good can come from this from a player perspective because we know they want to come in, hit the ground running, and they really want to make change. They want to do that. So, there are a lot of good things that have happened thanks to bright-eyed, bushy-tailed people. So anyway, this is all just to keep you updated. We had a serious issue with Incursions flopping. We had a good thing where I do appreciate them acknowledging one of the worst earthquakes ever. Thank goodness. Like truly, if you're a believer, thank God. If you are just a believer in humanity, thank goodness that did not happen on land somewhere. Because I remember in high school, yes, if that makes you feel old, I remember the Chile 8.8 earthquake when I was in high school. It was like, what, 2009-ish? So around high school time for me. I remember how big that was. Thank goodness that 8.8 happened in the middle, well, in the middle of the ocean, but several miles off the coast. And yes, tsunamis are scary, but, you know, an 8.8 happening in like, let's just say an 8.8 hit Los Angeles, there's not going to be much Los Angeles left. So I'm very thankful that was an off the coast thing, but I appreciate them putting up shields for people no matter what, like just making sure everybody is safe. I think that's a good thing. So you get a kudos from me on that one, community team and community management for getting that done and pushing for it. I think that is huge. Thankfully, it was not a big issue. It was not a big issue in terms of the tsunamis affecting multiple places, thankfully. But anyway, that's where we're at so far today. And then of course we've got the Grandmaster tournament, which is currently ongoing. I assume everybody is participating in Grandmasters. I have not started yet, but I assume everybody has taken a look. But we'll look at these new things together. For example, the new officers that have been added. Maybe you're interested in those. Maybe you're interested in the Berserker Complex, the Hull Piercer. Personally, I'm not, but maybe you are. We're going to talk about all those different things. So, Server 20 won this time. Server 20 did not win. No, did not win. Thanks for giving the APAC shenanigans some attention. Of course, like there might only be 15,000 of you. So you're not important at all, but you're important enough for me to talk about you. Love you. Love you. Still Russia's part of APAC? Technically not, because Russia can't really play this game anymore. I'm pretty sure it's blacklisted. Now we do have a lot of Russian players, but I don't think they can download STFC anymore. I think that's still part of the restrictions. Because I know China, like the country of China, does not allow STFC to be done there, but they're very in-house with a lot of their stuff. I think Russia, because of the sanctions, can't get into the game anymore unless they're doing something like VPNs. Now, which, hey, apparently those are getting sold really crazy like hotcakes in the UK right now. So anyway, that's a dwindling population, is what I'm saying. So, how many Kashar do you get? Doesn't say. Good question. I don't remember how many it is. I know the main thing of being Grandmaster is that there's no limit. You could pull it as much as you want. I would assume it's the same as this one at 15. I would assume it stays the same. It doesn't list, but I would assume it stays the same. The main thing is there's just no limit. The whole point of the Grandmaster was no limits on these pulls. So I would assume it's identical to the original, and Omicron and Moose are saying the same thing as well as Sven. It is 15. It just doesn't have a limit, so you're not going to stop. Now, I'll say this. Now, I know Moose maxed his out. Moose is done with his, and I think Moose did that more for the fact of he's got everything from the AT store. I don't really see a point in taking your Kashara past like 5 or 6 hostiles. Now, if you are... Oh, you did max. See? I knew it. I pay attention, Moose. If you are one of those people who has everything, then you don't probably care, and you can max out the Kashara. But I would say if you don't have everything, I don't personally see the point taking it past 5 or 6 hostiles, just with the nature of Kashara breaking. But I still would recommend everybody in the sound of my voice, if you hear me, you need to get the Kashara artifact. It is worth having. Just remember, if you take it up to where it kills 15 hostiles, odds are you're going to experience the break more often than less often. The more chances you have for the Kashara to break, the more likely it is to break. Right? So if you have it at level 5, you're not going to notice that break very often. Things that can cause the Kashara artifact to break. Despawning hostiles, players hitting your hostiles and taking them from you, hostiles that can spawn or travel outside the normal boundary, outside the map. All these things can cause the Kishar artifact to stop, which just means your ship freezes and it still says it has to kill 4 hostiles or 5 or whatever, and it just doesn't move, and you have to go manually reset it. So I tend to stop around 5 or 6, but there's not a wrong answer there. There's not a wrong answer. So whatever you need or whatever you feel is good for you, go for that, but I would encourage you to get it. Is the Quantum Slipstream in here? It is not. The Quantum Slipstream is only in, currently, the Augment Store. Now, all new things that get added into the Alliance Tournament Store are added in here at the very top. So, 6-star materials and epic FKR. We're going to go and re-roll those, see if we can't find some goodies for Rev. That's technically free to playable, but yeah, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to re-roll these because, I mean, that's handle that for somebody else. Actually, this is a 10K task. Let me go see if I have enough oopsie chest for that one. Those that don't remember, the Galactic Recruits is a free-to-play 10K task. If you have enough oopsie chests saved up, you need 19,800, and I do not have enough, but it was worth looking. Where's the Grandmaster Kishar? Grandmaster is just simply means there's no limit on the pulls. You can pull it as much as you can afford. So there's not a limit like the regular Kishar run has. That's really the main thing with Grandmaster, is it throws in a few different rewards, a few different things that are different from previous, and it's not going to have cooldowns on a lot of those things. So, yeah. Where do the Grandmaster items come from? I've got an alliance that's at master level, but no Grandmaster items. Grandmaster items don't come from a specific place. They just exist because it's a Grandmaster tournament. So, like, for example, John Harrison, James Kirk, Pelia, these are all new additions up here at the top. These were not originally in a normal run. These were just added in. So, those are just added in. Multiphasics, that's spending money. I'm not buying a $100 pack, so we're going to respawn that one. Uncommon Borg Solo, we're going to respawn that one as well. We're taking those officers up. Depends on your what type of player you are. For me, no. I might do the strike team officers, but I'm not going to waste precious currency on things like officers when I still don't have all the primes. When I don't have, you know, emblems of valor, right? Maybe there's an important FTCT one. For me, the big ones are the ship skins, like getting the Borg Cube Transwarp and the refit right here. These two are huge. The NX02 Columbia skin is one I scream at people to get. If you don't get it, well, I'm going to scream at you to get it. Where is it? I don't even see it. NX02 Columbia skin. Blind as a bat and I don't see it. Or did they actually remove it because I have it? Which would be really odd. It's in here somewhere, at least it should be, and I think I'm just blind. Right there. This is a must-have. If you do not have this, you need it. The answer is you need it. Get the NX02 Columbia skin. Why? So that you can max out Voyager officers in a decent amount of time and not be the level 67 who's got them at tier 2 and having Scopely gaslight you and tell you that it's your fault that you can't do things. So to avoid gaslighting, make sure you get the NX02 Columbia skin so they can't say that you don't have the Voyager officers. Yeah, there you go. The Armada FT are new and cheap. They are. Now, I will go ahead and say, you have things like the Hull Piercer, the Berserker Complex, and the Druada Sentient Missile. I'll be honest, I don't think they're very valuable. But I'm saying that from somebody who has zero issue with Armadas. None. Now, again, if you're like Moose and you have all the things, now there's a legitimate argument to pick it up. I don't need this. There's nothing in this I need. It will not improve my standing on any Armada. However, there's one for Explorers, Interceptors, and Battleships that improves your ISO damage, your piercing, your crit damage, and your crit chance against Armadas. Specifically Armadas, not entities. If it was against entities, well, we might have a little bit of a debate. But it's not. And also keep in mind that they're limited to tier 11. So, but solo and group Armadas, regular Armadas. Now, again, if you're into having the things, there are reasonably priced in terms of currency cost, right? And I do have some currency that I need to spend. Now, again, like what I do, because I do a lot of PvP, I go after things like this because I need these to be higher tier. But primes are first, ship skins that matter are first. But, I mean, again, these are new things added in. There's an argument to be made for new things that are good. So, Dinwit says, I can see relativities benefiting from that from Crenum formations. But here's the thing, Dinwit, if you're tiering up your relativity, it doesn't need any help. Relativities can carry Crenum formations by themselves already. Like, they don't struggle. Now, if you got a low tier one, maybe, but they don't struggle. Again, that's just my opinion. If you are one of those people that you like collecting all the things, makes sense. I would rather go after Emblems of Honor if I'm, dumping tokens, which I actually will do because I think I got like 70,000 I'm sitting on right now, plus whatever I'm going to get from doing my missions. I'm going to go get these things. So, is there going to be demotions? Good question, James. I'm waiting for a follow-up on that. Grandmasters usually do not involve demotions. I'm still waiting to hear back. Let me re-ping on that. All right, I re-pinged. We'll see if we get an answer during stream. If I do, I will share. As always, I will share if I get the answer during stream. So anyway, I just went and got those upgrades for the building, and we're going to take that up a little bit. Speed, and then we'll come over here, and how far can I take it? Like, all that's probably going to give me 2 levels. But I'll be honest, chat, I'll take all the levels I can get. Does that give me to 32? It does. There we go. I'm going to get 1% more ISO damage. Halla heckin' Luya. So, they should just make everything no cooldown on Grandmaster, like the new FTs for Armada, as you mentioned. They only let you get 20 of 200. Who wants to wait 10 months of collecting for those? Look here, Sniper. You're not going to have to convince me that Scopa needs to do better and be more friendly to the players. At the same time, well, as we've experienced, getting those arguments won is very difficult. But we absolutely can. We can make those type of arguments. But let me see if I can find a task that I can actually start. Proto Matter is free to play. I just don't want to do it right now. Technically, depending on your level, if you're a G6 player, that Syndicate one is free to play. In fact, G6 players have more 10K free to play tasks than anybody. Uncommon Dominion, hey, that's the spin one. Syndicate, see, that's technically free to playable. You could do that free to play. Oh no, my 10K is not populating correctly. There we go. Multiphasics. I wonder if somebody's holding on to the ones that I want. Galactic Recruit, again, I don't see the Grandmaster stuff in the AT store for me. Do you have to be Grandmaster to see them? There is no such thing as being Grandmaster, Drastic Leak. Now, you might be in a very low tier alliance, maybe, that maybe you're only seeing like adept rewards, but it's stuff like Harrison, Pelly, etc. here at the top. Here at the top. Should you get the Breen Dampener? In my opinion, no. Again, this goes back to like, does this have any value for you? Are you doing the Actian loop? And if so, do you notice your Actian loop needing help? If you answered yes to any of those questions, then maybe you get it. For me, that's a no. But if you notice that like, hey, I need the thing, cool. I don't really feel like that's super needed. Temporal Disruptor is the easiest one to do now. I would actually debate it's not, Tim. For certain individuals, yes. For the average player, it's definitely not the easiest. It is an option, and I'm glad that it is available for some people. But it is, I would not argue, oh, that one I can do. Yeah, that's a 10K task I can do. I would not argue that it's like that for over 90% of the game. So, the extra cargo from it is nice, and its refinery can help with upgrading the Mantis. Sure, yeah, there's logic there. I just really get into like how important is that for people who have limited currency. Again, if you've got the currency, then it's not really much of a debate. Sure. But most people don't have that currency laying around. I mean, they probably are still working on certain things that maybe have more value. It's just all about ranking what has value to you. And if you remember, we have a lot. Here, I'll pull up the prime spreadsheet. That one to me is the immediate focus, is getting the primes. And remember, we have the spreadsheet that you can come in here and see all the things that you can get via. Can we put it on window capture? Maybe that'll work. Do this one. Give me a second. I'll put it on the screen so you can see all the primes you get from Alliance tournaments. And to me, that's the focal point. Like, this is what everybody should be focusing on, are primes that you get from Alliance tournaments. Here we spreadsheet. Yay, spreadsheets. So this to me is what should be the focus, right? If you've already got the ship parts primes done, great. If you've already got the weapons primes, if you're a PvP, are done, great. If you've already got the Discovery Warp Range primes done, fantastic, right? But I would say these are focal points, and there's all these free primes that you can get in Alliance tournaments. Now, I will say half of those, well, not half, about a third of them are PvP related. So, of course, Rev is going to focus on PvP related. But there's still a lot that aren't PvP related that will drastically improve your gameplay. Not to mention what the skins do. So, and then what, you're right. If you're in Adept, a lot of that isn't available, which is why I encourage people to be in the best alliance you can be in. Be in the best alliance you can be in. I know that sounds like I'm hating on small alliances. I'm not trying to hate on small alliances. There are simply huge, humongous, very real, very large benefits to being in the best alliance you can be in. This is one of those examples. Look at all these primes. Alliance tournaments will give you free to play, but if you're in the lowest tier of alliance tournaments, you're not going to see most of these. And that's just something you have to wait for yourself. If you decide that that is okay, like you would rather have a slower path, but you enjoy being with that group or whatever, I'm definitely not shaming you for being in that group. Be where you want to be. But there are significant game drawbacks if you are in a smaller, lower tier alliance. Again, that is, you just base that off what works for you. There's not a wrong answer. My job is just to make sure that you have all the tools needed to see and know what you want to go after. And if you have all the things and you've decided, hey, this isn't important to me, that's not a problem. I respect it. Do what's important and valuable to you. So like even here, just the Prime Valor, which you can only pull 5 of, that still requires you to have over 5,000 of the event store currency. As you can see, that's Prime Station Delay, which in Incursions, that would have been very helpful yesterday. That's Prime Discovery Warp Range. I know level 70s who don't have all the Prime Discovery Warp Ranges, meaning their disco is useless until they get these primes, right? Because these primes drastically increase the range of the disco. Now, how much does that matter in today's game where we now have jumps that we can buy for all of our ships with the new content? Debatable, but there you go. I mean, that's primes right there. So it's all about finding what works for you. Just make sure you know what options are available. Alliance tournaments is one of the most lucrative areas of the game, but it's more lucrative when you're an expert or Masters League. If you're not an expert or Masters League, it's less lucrative. So find what works for you. We aren't all in a rush. Yeah, I mean, you're staring at a level 60 who could have been level 70 by now. There are other content creators who are level 70. So clearly I could have been there. But Rev said, no, I would rather play slower and have more fun. And I do believe, and I will say this in front of any other content creator in my chat, I believe of the content creators, I have more fun than anybody higher level than me. Like I truly wake up, enjoy my gameplay, and have more fun. Now, that's just an opinion. And opinions are like buttholes, right? Everybody has one. They all stink. But I believe that. I believe playing slower, more horizontal is the more fun way to play this game. So, is there an easy chart for that where I don't have to go on Google Sheets? No. I mean, you could just take a screenshot of this, like from the Google Sheet, and you'd have a chart. So, yeah. I'm going to pull my Prime Valors right now while we're talking about it. Sean says a lot more fun. Again, the purpose of this game has got to be to find what's fun for you. Sherlock says a wise man once said, leave your alliance is crap. I would never say that. May or may not have said that. I did say that. I did say that. You know what? But look, you have to find what works for you. So, have to find what works for you. How does Wrath of Khan Karos below deck ability work? Same way Strange New World Unas works. Or I'm sorry, Strike Team Unas. Glad to suggest a screenshot. Yeah, there you go. Like if you don't want to pull up spreadsheets all the time, yeah, that's fine. But I don't think anybody's made a pretty graphic for it. Now there is in the Alliance tournaments spreadsheet, there is another graphic, but I don't know if it's actually been updated yet to include all the prime. Oh yeah, it is. So there we have this one as well. This one has also been updated. Boop. So you could also do this one. But at the same time, it's still a spreadsheet. So like take a screenshot of either one. This one gives you a little bit more detailed information about each one. So whereas the spreadsheet that I worked on with Silvas, that's just more of like, hey, here's where everything's at. This one gives you a little bit more specifics. So if you want to see how much warp range you're getting. So for example, I'd get another 350 if I do this next prime here, or I can do Prime Station Delay, or I can do the crit chance one, which honestly is good in today's current PvP meta. You know, all these have value. Depends on what you're going after. Depends on what you're going after. So, boop, back over. And here, just for those in the chat, I'll copy paste the Prime spreadsheet. That way y'all can go and check it out. Now y'all all have access to the Prime spreadsheets. Nick says, I changed Alliance recently and I was honest with the old one saying, I want to get to know new people and see how others play. There's nothing wrong with that. One thing that I definitely want to push to people, you can have fun and be friends with people without being in their alliance, right? It's all about the relationships you build. Just because you change alliances doesn't mean you stop hanging out with people, right? It's not like you went to a new high school across the country, right? You can still be friends with them. It's 2025, right? And we're on the internet. You can be friends with everybody. Be friends with everybody. It's okay. It's not against the rules. Yeah. Anyone else having issues with the kill 6 rare solos with Temporal Conduit? So, Omicron, if you haven't already, you got to make sure that CT is on the strongest ship. If it is not on the strongest ship, it will not work. It has to be on the strongest ship. So if you have it on the weakest ship, fix it. Also, my camera broke. Now it's back to working. Make sure the CT is on the strongest ship if you're doing the solos. Or just use one ship. Either way. Make it on the top ship or just use one ship. But if you didn't know, now you know. This is one that every time Alliance tournaments comes up and stuff, we have to throw that one out there to help people. You got to have it on the strongest ship or it will not read, register, etc., etc. Let me speed up this building real quick so we can finish this. And we'll go ahead and collect that task. That's our free-to-play 10K task with our uncommon SP right there. And I can go ahead and start upgrading my facade. It'll be another 150 wave bonus. That'll be helpful. Now we'll come in here and we'll collect our winnings. Yay, there we go. Now that really, you have to have 2 buildings saved up if you're below level 50. But if you're 50 and above, like upgrading that building, you'll need 1 building upgrade to get the required amount for that 10K task. Would be nice if they said that in the instructions. While I agree, Omicron, if Scopely was better at their job, Rev wouldn't have one. So when in doubt, come ask Rev first. When in doubt, come ask Rev first. There you go. Tim, yo, thank you, Tim. Tim just gifted 5 channel subscriptions, which gives y'all a special little icon next to your name. Shows that you're special, shows that you're important. Greatly appreciate that. If y'all want to support the channel, make sure you check out our website, revdeuce.com. If you have not already, we have a podcast on there. Movie night is this Sunday. And if you are donating either cash or on the website, revdeuce.com, through memberships, that's how we do our Battle Pass giveaways. Just FYI for those here. There's over 400 of you nutty buddies here. Good to see you, donuts. Tuesday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, over on Twitch is our next Battle Cash giveaway. If you want to win money so that you can buy a Battle Pass, head over to Twitch. Make sure you're there next Tuesday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you are interested in sponsoring Battle Cash giveaways, remember, this is all part of the community doing this. Now that Scopely has kicked me from their program, I don't get freebies to give out anymore, so we pay for freebies. We give them out with our own money. If you are interested in giving out the cattle bash, like James says, hit me up. Have you seen Happy Gilmore 2? I have not. No. I have not. You can finally do 53 Elite Solo waves. Well, congrats, James. Congratulations. Let's see, Syndicate, technically free to playable, but I don't want to do it. Temporal Disruptors, not free to playable for me, but free to playable. Multiphasics. I really would like to just get the generic one that always spawns, and it's not spawning. You know, the one where we spam our NX01 turn-ins, and it's not spawning. What CT do you have on your Enterprise D? So I have on my Enterprise D, and again, thank you, Tim Davis, for your kindness. I really do appreciate that. I have on mine the Unimatrix shielding. Unimatrix shielding. So, is that based on power or ship level? Always power. Ship level is never considered. There's not a situation ever where the game considers ship level. It's always ship power. When it comes to armadas, it's always ship power. The game does not care whether you got a tier 1 level 1 or a tier 10 level 100. That doesn't math out. It's always ship power. So if we go into our toolbox here, we'll show you all the game mechanics, and we did a video on this, but for ship order, put this on the screen. Uno momento, por favor. Needs one more moment, please. All right, not what I wanted to touch. 1 second. There we go. Ship order. Ship sorted by ship power. Note that ship power is displayed in game is unreliable. And the reason it's unreliable in armadas is because you have things that activate specifically for armadas, research favors, etc., that will drastically improve your power in the armada, but not when you're just floating in space. So remember, Basuba, I haven't seen it if you want to send it to me. I'll confirm or deny if that's actually going to be next month's officers. Remember that just like in arenas, how you'll go from, like, I have 350 ISO, but in arenas I have significantly more in those battles. Same thing. So if you have two ships that are really close together, but maybe one gets better research based on what you're hitting, then that ship's better. So what a lot of people end up doing is just hit those solo armadas with one ship. Like, just take your Borg cube out and spam a Dominion solo. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Or take your Enterprise D out and spam a Crenum solo. So, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Good times. So in a solo armada, the strongest ship goes first, or the starter ship? The starter ship. But you need it on, you need your starter to be the strongest, and you need the CT to be on your strongest. It's confusing and annoying. Let me go see what Vasuba posted. Yep. Where'd you find the ad? Now I'm curious. But yep, there you go. Indeed, I've actually already got the, well, I'm not gonna say that. I don't need them to know what I have and don't have. You don't deserve to know. There you go. I don't have an NDA. Yeah. You were curious. Also, if y'all haven't been catching the hint, I've been telling y'all season 1 is where you find next month's content. So if you're curious, like you want to hunt down season 1, maybe the second half of the episodes, is where you'll find next month's content. So get to looking. Get to looking. Get to looking. Get to looking. But anyway, yeah, there's that little ad. And it's on YouTube ads. Nice. Very nice. Very, very nice. Maybe a place called Jagal? Well, I am more referring to maybe transigen related stuff. Maybe things that help the transigen loop can be found in the, later episodes of season 1 of Strange New Worlds. More what I'm referring to. But I don't know. Y'all go give it a look. If y'all don't care, well, wait in 6 days and you'll see it. So, y'all wait 6 days and you'll see it. I mean, it's not really a thing to get excited about, to be honest with you. Most of you will probably be complaining. If I'm being completely honest, most of you will probably be complaining. But here we are. We'll still be here and we're still going to have fun. We'll still be here and we'll be having fun. Even though James Bond will be spending money and buying packs. You're still in the original series? Okay. Well, you enjoy watching the original series. Yeah. Anything up for the IA building? I mean, you can wait and see in 6 days. I don't have any information on the IA building. I do know more stuff's coming. Hey, so it's good to see you. You know, people learn from Wrath of Khan and don't buy the make it loop easy stuff. You are crazy if you think that's not going to happen. Pablo. I'll be honest, look, and I'm saying this with love. If you truly believe that people haven't learned, you're out your mind. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean to you, Pablo, but you just need to give up that hope. That stop. You're being silly. You're setting yourself up for disappointment. I'm just being honest with you. I'm telling you the truth. You don't even need to mention it. Don't even say it. Focus on the things that you can actually change and improve. So, which is why I focus on this beautiful, beautiful Nemesis and its 342.8% isolytic damage. So now, if there's a new ship coming, will it sell as much as the Reliant did? Unlikely. But will there be plenty of people who rush to buy it? Absolutely. So not even worth bothering saying, oh, I hope people learn their lesson. People have already spent over $20,000 on the USS Vengeance. Right? Everybody over here like, oh yeah, people learned their lesson. No, they didn't. The same VIPs who've been talking about how Scopely's been screwing the game for years spent $20,000 on a Vengeance. And that's their prerogative. I'm not mad at them at all for spending. Some spent that much. Some did not spend that much. That doesn't matter. It's not my money. But they still spent it. Right? Like, players have got to give up this hope and dream that players are going to unify and, you know, there's going to be this mass spending ban and all this is going to change. No, it's not. You're not changing to that degree. Now, that doesn't mean I don't believe great positive things can't happen. We just talked about in stream, positive things getting changed for the players. But if you think they're going to change their monetization structure, well, I've got some beachfront property in Montana to sell you, and let me tell you, you're going to love it. It's the ISS jelly of beachfront property. So, when should I have the 500 bill faction lock completed? By level 70, because that's when you need it. So by level 70. So, you think they got rid of the 6-star materials task? Dark Torch, I've already re-rolled like 18 of them. They've not gotten rid of them at all. So, they've not gotten rid of them at all. They're definitely still there. Now, for whatever reason, you might not have them populating, but literally one just populated right there. Yeah, they're still there. You're just very unlucky then. It's possible. Now, somebody could also be holding those. We have talked about that some of those items have a limited number that can populate at any given time, and somebody could be sitting on one or two or three, and they're just not spending them, thus they're not re-rolling. Remember, that is also something with Alliance tournaments. Some of the tasks have a limit to the number of those tasks that can be active at any given time. So if one of your Alliance mates, let's just say 3 of them have them, and they're not spending on them for whatever reason, maybe they're waiting for their refines, maybe that task won't populate. So, all right, let's go over here. Check. Oh, I gotta do all these pulls. Well, it is that time of day. Is there any difference with this being called Grandmaster Tourney, or am I just dense and not noticing it? There's a lot of differences, Jesus. There's no cooldown on the big pulls for the Kishara artifact. You have several new items that are in, including officers that are not normally there. That's all different. You also have, we believe, different relegation and promotion metrics, which I'm waiting to get verification on. Now, Grandmaster is still Grandmaster. There's also, if y'all did not notice, a shiny new battle pass for Grandmaster. It's $20. Yeah, we got a shiny new battle pass. Now, the good news when there's another battle pass, that means there's another free-to-play track. But for like the 17th, 90th battle pass this month, there's another battle pass. And if you're one of those players who just has oobles and goobles of money and you don't want to give it to a Rev Deuce, which I understand, not everybody wants to give Gingers money. We're dangerous. You can go buy another battle pass in Star Trek Fleet Command. And the battle pass will give you about 3 times what the free-to-play track of the pass will give you. Again, you decide whether that's valuable for you. But we were talking about it a little bit in Ultra Vetica stream earlier this morning, and I will say that there's value to it. I just am kind of annoyed that there's so many freaking battle passes, but I'm not going to sit here and say that it has no value either. I mean, it does. Just debate on how much it has value to you. But it is annoying because the battle pass, click your events, where? Go to season passes, looky, right there, Grandmaster pass. And then you have Wave Defense pass, and there's your Grandmaster event, which is today just doing away teams. Completing away teams will give you the currency for the new pass, as well as help you progress this pass, which is all giving you currency for a new mini event store, which is kind of been the theme of this month, mini event stores. And then those mini event stores, you can go, I still got to turn in all this stuff before I forget about it. Don't forget your choice rewards, by the way. They extended it, but don't forget your choice rewards. Or your Incursion store, for that matter. Don't forget any of these things. I need to go do more of that subspace relay before I forget about it. But anyway, you got wrong chest. That's for Alliance tournament credits. That's that one. Where is the little box? Oh, Grandmaster ship part stuff. There we go. There we go. So again, this can be nice if you're wanting to, you know, improve your beryllium sphere acquisition, because the NSCA, as we talked about last stream, takes over 600 days, right? If you're trying to work on your NX01, you know, whatever you're trying to work on, this can help you speed up those processes, which can be quite nice. Who doesn't want to speed up their processes? And then, of course, you have the officers one, which is the same officers that we kind of have been having the past month or so, where Wrath of Khan Carol is, of course, present again, quasi, for those who have not picked up the Apex Shred for both PvE and PvP. Lerner McCoy, which is just Tom Paris on steroids. Strange New World Dejac, which is Mariner on steroids. And then we've got Wrath of Khan Savick, who I've actually not unlocked yet, but against non-Armada hostiles, increases ISO Cascade. Another little good officer for that. Yeah. Thanks for the vids on how to do stuff. Any spreadsheets for mirror systems and what they hold for NSCA? I mean, you can just take a look on STFC.space for that, Jones. What specifically are you looking for? What specifically are you looking for? What do you recommend for the Incursion store to get? Personally, I go after the building upgrades because it's so hard to get them. Now, if you don't have Fleet Commander Lorca, I would say get Fleet Commander Lorca. But between upgrading the building itself and then getting upgrades for Fleet Commander Lorca, but for me, a big one is getting the Subspace Relay up, because the Subspace Relay has good bonuses, but it's really hard to source those materials. So what ships are in there and what minerals are there too? I don't know what you're asking, Ace. Oh, yeah. You can see that on STFC.space. You can actually see that in game if you really want to. Just go to your galaxy view, come on down here, hit your tab, and say, hey, I want to see what type of mining is available. And if you've explored the system, you'll see Trellium A, Trellium D. You know, that's it. Trellium A, Trellium D. Switch to hostiles. You can see, oh, this system is explorers and surveys. Any of the survey-only systems are going to be those systems that we use to grind Federation, Klingon, and Romulan reputations. I mean, you can technically do that already. Now, if you've not explored those systems, then you won't see their icon pop up. But, yeah. Why does your event store have relativity parts and mine doesn't? Probably ops level. A lot of those things in terms of event stores will be ops level locked. So you will not be able to see or have things based on ops requirements. It's most likely what your issue is. Let me swap this real quick. I want to come back over here, and we got to get ready to start doing some grinding work. And you are missing... Hold on. Who are you missing? Oh, I know what you're missing. You're missing this guy. Yep, there we go. Now we're back sorted, ready to put in some PvE time. Why would they lock it at 51 plus? Welcome to Scopely, man. Every special ship in the game has locks, with the exception of like 3. All of them do. So you're only supposed to get it to certain tiers. Once you have it at that tier, they don't want you to take it any higher. Again, we can argue that we dislike that, but that's one of those things that we just know they're never going to move off of. You're always going to have some level of ops lock for special ships. You just are. So, let's see. Oh, they're running these? I need to go do those. Atlanta. I wasn't paying attention, and here they are running the cool stuff again. All the cool kids are having fun, and Rev's getting left out. All right, swap ships. Swap ships. And we're going to go grab... Let's actually put y'all down there for now. And we'll go grab just a regular Armada crew. Yeah, we'll do a loot crew. Why not? Who says no? Not Rev. Get out there so we can do these Armadas. I nearly tossed my phone on your last YouTube stream when you said the Protector takes 600 days to upgrade. That's a bloody joke. Hey, sure. I'm not going to get angry and throw my phone because my phone costs a lot of money, but I understand the frustration. Yeah, I get that. I get that a lot. You can solo those Zindi Armadas with no boost. Okay, random. Good to know. Good to know. Changes a little effect on Incursions. Well sunk server in the first hour. So I think it depends, Simon. I definitely talked to a lot of players yesterday, and a lot of players noticed an improvement and said that they thought that the new system was better. Now, I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend like it's perfect, but I do think it was better based on feedback from players that the PvP change definitely showed up. Like, people could notice a scoring difference. Now, was it enough to like offset rating completely? Absolutely not. But a lot of players voiced that it definitely was an improvement. I think there should be more, right? I think that there's more they can do to improve that. But I think it was a good step in the right direction. It was definitely better. And server 20 was actually able to stay in our fight longer than we should have because of that change. And it's kind of like Responsibility is saying, there was less blowouts. Did it necessarily win for people? There are a couple of servers where it did choose between who won and who lost, but it helped make things not be so overwhelmingly imbalanced. So there are still some changes I think need to happen. I'm not saying everything's fixed honky-dory, but at least it was an improvement, and I do believe it was an improvement. So if you rate it and don't dock it, sorry, not sorry. I think that's a solid one that's been brought up a lot, Moose. So, yeah. Let's see. Can't do that pull yet. Just trying to get all these pulls in. Let's go to our refines while we wait on that to get there. Let's get these refines clicked, all these buttons. Click the buttons. Thank the Lord for bonus refineries and bulk refineries. Very happy for those. I see you, James. I see you. You know, I see the scoring based on ops level, so levels can get more points from HHP. Yeah, sure. I think that's logical. I see no issue with that logic at all. Crud. You know what? We need to go auto farming because I need more of the rare currency so I can pull more of my artifacts. Let me go put that in here. But we're going to pull this real quick. Our Transigen refinery. Let me actually adjust. Yeah, we need to do single pulls of that. Bulk refine. There we go. And get what we can. I'll just let it pick it. Ah, dang it. See, this is why I need to, because I need, I think, 2 more of these to unlock this. So I got to go do this so I can get the double pull. I'm close. I need to go get that double pull. So we'll let that auto grind while we're doing our stream. You think it should be done on points awarded from SLBs? I'm not a big fan of that one, to be honest with you, but that's me. Is it on the horizon? Systems for 80 level players. Is G7 on the horizon? Absolutely. Yes. We already know it is because the USS Vengeance is here. In fact, if y'all were at my stream last night, you got to see the USS Vengeance do a lot of combat. So you'd love to see all my crew presets. I don't use crew presets, William, so there's not really anything worth seeing. But sure. Obviously, I've taken out all the below decks because I hate the below deck section of that. But it's mostly PvE crews and some Armada crews. And even a preset I'm not currently using. And then there's fleet presets, but I only have 1 fleet preset. So. Incursions points for mining and grinding next. Personally, Green Tea would not like that. It's meant to be a PvP event. But again, opinions will vary. There's nothing wrong with multiple opinions. And this one, somebody did, oh, I don't have enough right now. Somebody just left that sitting there. Maybe we'll get it next time it pops. I'll try to get in on that because I don't believe I have enough solo currency to pull that. Well, Matthew, I don't agree with that one because Incursion SLBs are not credit card SLBs. Incursion SLBs are how much time are you willing to devote to Incursions? Like, I scored in the Raider one 32nd. That has nothing to do with spending. Spending doesn't affect that for your leaderboard. The Champion one, I got 11th. That's just PvP wins. That has nothing to do with spending money. Nothing at all. Damage, I got 3rd. Again, nothing to do with spending money. So, I mean, I get where they're coming from. I just don't think that makes things better. So, and I'm 12th on this one. Which I would like to be higher, but yeah, that's not happening. Yeah. The in Infinite Incursion SLBs are rare SLBs that are actually free to playable for generally everybody, which is very, very rare. So I know why that, you know, that reaction is there. But this is a rare time where SLBs are achievable for everybody. It's just whether you want to do them. And Pegasus, you should be using your Enterprise D to do Zindi Armadas. One of our 70s took out a Vengeance last night, and the poor guy took his ball and went home. Well, we've talked about the Vengeance quite a bit here on this stream. I haven't made a video about it because it just doesn't affect enough people. But we have talked about the Vengeance quite a bit on the stream, and its pros and its cons. And it does have pros and cons. Yo, Viper, thank you so much. Gifting out 10 memberships to the channel. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate it. If you're out there and you want to support Battle Cash giveaways, check out revenues.com or click those links there in the chat right now. Thank you, Viper, for the support. Those are 10 people who now have special icons next to their name, special color, and they can use special emotes because you are supporting the channel financially. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you. And Pegasus, just use PV, just use Armada crews, man. Zindi Armadas are just Armadas, so just use your Armada crew. Standard Armada crews apply. What are the cons of the Vengeance? It's a waste of money in terms of right now, and it is not the best PvP boat in the game. As in, it can lose. Even if we argue it is the best, is it worth spending the amount of money it costs? No, absolutely not. But if you're level 70, you're going to get pigeonholed into having to have it because you need the Vengeance to fight the new Breen hostiles. One of the many reasons that G6 is terrible, and I tell people don't go to level 70. But, Scopely on a Scopely, if you were hoping for a fair, balanced, and cheap entrance into G7, I've got some beachfront property in South Dakota to sell you. So, yeah. Apart from burning in Dazok, honestly, man, if you're running maxed Enterprise Ds, you don't even need that, Matthew. I can solo these without burning or Dazok. Now, if you're running, you know, mid-tier NX-01s, you're a lower-level alliance, then yeah, bring that in. But a lot of players, especially G6, can solo these without any of those things being there. The new what hostiles? Breen hostiles. Have you not seen the new Breen hostiles? Uno momento. I'll put some on the screen for you so you can enjoy. Let's see. We'll find level 70 that shared me some of their screenshots. Put that up here. Hold on one second. I'll show you. That's why we got to whip out ye old credit cards so we can afford this brand new hostile beating ship. So we can beat this here hostile. Oh man, we got to beat it. So, all right, that is the 41. So then I'll grab this one right here. All right, so this is 2 of my level 70 friends. Shout out to them. Greatly appreciate them supporting the channel by sending us things that we can show y'all. So here, boop, is the new Breen hostiles, Breen warships. This is just the first of many new things coming when they roll out the new content. But this is a very large cube. You might refer to this cube as maxed at 175 billion, and yet it gets its butt absolutely curb stomped by the Breen warship. Enter in the brand new Ferrari. Yep, weaker in power, but better in performance. Here you go. Brand new USS Vengeance. That Breen never stood a chance because I bought the Vengeance. Yep, there you go. Yep. Again, no shade thrown at either of those level 70s. Just that's what Scopely does. Create a problem, sell a solution. Welcome to the game. Welcome to the game. Which is why I tell people, like, hey, there's nothing wrong with spinning in this game as long as you're informed and you're having fun. Like, for those that don't know, Behringer is the admiral of my alliance, right? He is the number 4 overall player in the game in terms of power. He also has the USS Vengeance. He is not ignorant to what his Vengeance is in any way, shape, or form. He knows exactly what his Vengeance is, and he still spent the money, and he's happy with it. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. As long as you're informed, make that informed decision. Bear's a big old boy, and he's more than happy with his decision. Go for it. Go for it. It's all about what you enjoy. And if you've got that type of enjoyment money laying around, who am I to judge you? I'm just a ginger with a YouTube channel. I'm not judging you. Which, by the way, if you are here, do me a solid. Like the video. Yeah, we've been here over an hour. You haven't liked the video yet? Do you even love Rev? Do you even support Rev? Speaking of support Rev, check out RevDeuce.com. Because I was not able to stream Monday night, we actually did a little bit of a thank you. If you go to RevDeuce.com, not only can you sign up to support the channel if you so choose, but we actually opened up the podcast for everybody to listen to this most recent episode because we had an issue with stream. So go to RevDeuce.com, best way to support the channel. We have a members only area, so you can be a member for as little as $5 a month to support my family. But inside of there is where we post things like our podcast, new magazines that come out for Star Trek Fleet Command, all the goodies and tips, behind the scenes information. Get it out on RevDeuce.com. We have another episode rolling out here soon for the podcast if y'all are interested. But episode 8 is available to everybody. So even if you're like, Rev, I'm not giving you a dime, you can go listen to me and Alex, the guy who created the community mod that many of you use, Ripper's Mod. He created STFC.space. Very, very OG in the STFC world. Go check it out on RevDeuce.com. Support the channel and listen to the cool stuff. Sorry if I missed any previous questions, but what happened to Incursions? 187 got an Incursion when they were told they had a buy, is the short answer of it. There was another issue like what happened to server 710 happened to server 187. How did Incursions go for your server? Server 20 lost, but we had fun. I had a great time. Got to hang out with a lot of folks from server 26. Got to do a lot of PvP with them, which was fun. I got Lethal Brown complimented me and talked about how good I was. Made me feel good about myself. That was nice, right? I managed to fight off a lot of Sigma players, which was fun. Was not able to fight off Red Hulk. He decided that my base did not deserve to live, and he flattened it. But I heard him. Enjoy the Sigma repairs there, Red Hulk. Yeah, suck it, Red. Suck it. Yeah, enjoy that Sigma repair. Yeah, he hurt me. He flattened my base a little bit. That hurt. But we got some good fights in. Had a lot of fun. Got to fight Staber here. Hit my base. That didn't go very well. Where's a punch up I got? I like showing off my punch ups. I don't really show off my punch downs, but punch ups I like showing. Let's see. Dumpster Kool-Aid. We beat his Enterprise. I was running Mirror. If you're going to run Mirror, I recommend Mirror Hura, not Mirror Kira. Recommend Mirror Hura if you're going to run Mirror. We've got lots of defeats here. We're not going to pay attention to those. Ignore the red. That's not real. We only pay attention to the green. Like when I beat Draxus. Yeah, that was nice. Yeah, I beat him several times. Yeah, well, see, we pay attention to those. We don't pay attention to the losses. Only the W's. Enterprise E. I'm sorry, Rotard. Never a chance. Not a big fan of that crew necessarily. It's not a bad crew. But again, if you're going to run Mirror, I like Mirror Hura. Took out, got taken out by the Velox. That shamed me down a little bit. Happens. Happens, right? But we had fun. That's the key. Having fun. I've had some Lethal Brown here. Lethal Brown beat me there. Oh, here's me beating Lethal Brown. Yeah, suck it, Lethal Brown. Get wrecked. Get wrecked, mate. Good to see you. But if no Uhura, Kira, or Quasi, then don't run Mirror. To be honest, I would not. Again, if you're trying to load out like your 4th PvP ship, then sure, run Mirror. But if you're talking about your primary PvP ship, if you don't have Mirror Uhura, you probably don't need to be running it. Even that, your strike teams are still going to be your best bets. But let's see. I beat Stockdale. Yeah, that was an impressive one. 14 bill cube. Get smacked. That was a fun one. Got to beat Stockdale, 6 levels above me. Or a couple of others. Oh, a 67. I beat Blade. He was in our Discord. I'm sorry, he was in the Twitch stream. 15 biller. Took him down. Yeah, that was nice. That was good. And after my 3 hours, I hung up. I thought about playing more because at one point I was number 1 in the XSLB, and I had a huge lead. I knew I would lose it if I didn't keep going, but I just kind of backed off and ended up finishing, I think, 3rd. But yeah, I got to beat Blade several times. Did lose sometimes here and there. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun. See, I beat Original Reaper, but oh wow. Stockdale. I forgot I rated Stockdale. I forgot I did that. Stockdale, get wrecked, mate. Yeah. Yeah, Graduated. I was in the I was actually number 3 in the PvP kills one, but when I logged off, and I was number 1 in the damage. I think I finished number 3 in the damage even after I logged off. So let's make sure that you're still drawing a hostile. Okay, cool. Sometimes I don't like to draw a hostile. The new structure of XSLBs were good bracketing. I do think it was an improvement. Yeah. I still think that there are improvements to be made, but I do think that there was improvement there. So, and I know we don't like to give Scopa too much credit. It goes to their heads, but this was an improvement to Incursions. It made it more worth going after. Still not perfect, still needs work, but it was definitely better. It was definitely better. And I hope they continue to make those type of changes, because if they do, I think long term, you can revitalize Incursions. And with PvP arenas really struggling, if you're going to have a PvP mechanic, make Incursions better. So, are you considered G6? No, I'm a G5 player. You're not G6 until you're level 61. G6 starts at level 61. That's when Sigma starts. All right, so come here. Do I have any upgrades? Oh, no. Oh, I was 4 away. I thought I was 2 away. So tomorrow we get that. But we can upgrade the gong. Dong. Upgrade it. How are participation rates? We're actually pulling those numbers now. I don't have them yet, but we are pulling the numbers to see what the participation rates were like in Incursions. I see your leaderboards. You're new to G5. Well, welcome in. Yeah, G5 is going to be 51 to 60. That's G5. Awesome. Hey, Michael, I hope you enjoyed, or hope you're enjoying Bulgaria, which very random place to take a vacation to, but I hope you're enjoying it. Sporty Mike. Hope you're enjoying Bulgaria. Can't say I've ever thought of that as being like a destination vacation, but that doesn't mean it's bad. It just means I've never thought about it. You can kill G6 transient hostiles. I can kill like 2. But yes. Now, if I perfectly kitted out crew and I actually use the CT, because normally my FTCT stays PvP related, I could probably do a few bit more than that, but it's still tough. It's still tough. Viper says Eastern European countries are becoming more touristy. I mean, if people like the Balkan states and they want to go visit, that's cool. I got nothing wrong with that. Trying to think. Who wasn't it Ferdinand? Was it the last king of Bulgaria? Was it like Ferdinand the Third, the second? Was the last king of Bulgaria? I don't remember. Now you got me wondering about my history. I have to go think about it. Yeah, it's dang, what was his name? I can't remember. There's also one in Romania, and he flipped the script in World War II as Germany was losing. He was like, nah, I'm going to side with the Russians now. Flipped the script on them. That's where Germany was getting a lot of their oil at the time, so that was a big blow. Anyway, random history lesson nobody asked for. They're going to change the scoring rate for raiding and incursions? Well, that's the thing, Picard. They did change it. They literally just changed it, this Incursion. And we noticed a more balanced system. Not saying it was perfect, but they literally just changed the scoring rates this Incursion. So they did do that. Now, I would still argue that more is needed, but you know, there's another argument made that if they would have gone too far, you don't want to overcorrect. You make incremental changes. But they did make a scoring change. And we definitely noticed a difference in this run. Can argue that more of that change should happen, but they did make a change. And I think it was a rare time for us to say, hey, positive change. A rare time to say it was a positive change. Pseudo, good to see you, my friend. Welcome in. Do you think Scopa would allow servers to see each player did for each incursion? I mean, you can go... I mean, I don't know, honestly. I think it'd be nice to see more information from leaderboards. I could say that. I think it'd be nice to see more information. So, it's outside of America, so it doesn't mean anything to you guys. Hey, We've done the geolocation test, and I named over 90% of all European countries. So don't try to pull that on me. Don't try to pull that on me. Y'all know good heckin' well, Rev Deuce knows European countries and histories. Now, I cannot speak for all of my fellow American brethren, because most of them cannot say the same. Rev can. Rev can say it. You have a brain fart? Where do I get more wave starts? From the Section 31 store. Depending on what wave you're referring to. Section 31 faction store. Have you heard anything about their internal survey? No, nor do I expect to, Responsibility. I don't expect them to share the results of that at all with anybody, except internally. It's one of the drawbacks to Scopely surveys. They don't share with us what is actually said, what the results are. It's why I'm so big on our surveys, because I do share those results with you. I will tell you how many people said this, what percentage of people said that, and who liked, disliked, etc. I wish Scopely was that transparent. They are sadly not, but I wish they were. Scopely does not have that level of transparency with their surveys. Now, if they change things up, I would love that. And I've asked them to change that up. And I've asked them to be more transparent with it. And, maybe somebody new being in charge or something will result in that happening. But for now, it's not been the case. So let me jump in here real quick, go to this event store to do my Incursions points, because there is less than a day to do that. So let me go and grab some of this, because I'm sitting on 3,600. So maybe the new CM could make that their... Wow, speaking French, graduated, I see you. Raison d'être. Yeah, thank you. We'll see. I don't know. We don't even know who that's going to be. And keep in mind that when they hire a new community manager, there's a long onboarding process. As in, they'll hire a new CM, and that new CM will not show their face for like 3 to 6 months. Scopely has a very long onboarding process. So don't expect like, a new CM was hired and then they're helping. Nope. You probably won't see any new CM until maybe Christmas time. No, Thanksgiving time. Maybe even January, February. Depending on when they actually hire them. Does the subspace relay still have value? Since they've upgraded how much the subspace relay pays out, yes. Because they improved how much the subspace relay pays out. Like their bonuses have been jumped up. So then yes, I would say the answer is yes. When's my start date? I'm not working for them. Not in that regard. Not in that regard. Like, not going to talk trash about them and say, hey, you shouldn't work for Scopely, because there are definitely instances where I could see me working for Scopely. Just not for Star Trek Fleet Command. So. And Hammy's a special case, graduated, because Hammy wasn't new. For those that don't know, Obsidian Hamster was actually working in community in the VIP area for a long time. So Hammy wasn't new. Like, Hammy wasn't somebody they hired and he came to be the community manager. He was an in-house transfer. He was already over at VIP and he just transferred over. Kennison, yes, I did. And that is in the podcast on RevDeuce.com. It's in the podcast on RevDeuce.com. I have a whole episode devoted to why Scopely kicked me. So he drew the short straw. He chose it. What do you mean? Getting to run the main CM, that's a promotion. That's not choosing the short straw. Like, if you want to move up in community and Star Trek Fleet Command, you take the lead CM position for the community. Any word on Bex? Nope. Nor will I probably ever talk to that woman again. Almost thought I hadn't checked my shield today since Incursions. Well, good news, there was a tsunami. That's bad phrasing. That's not good news. But everybody got a shield is what I'm saying. Everybody got a shield. Since you've played from the start, has the game improved in regards to bugs and all the problems we're seeing? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. This game is significantly better than it used to be. Hypo, I'm not going to drag that into a public conversation. Let's just say I don't like that person. You thought it'd be the other way around? You thought the VIP CMs would be higher up in the food chain? Oh, no, definitely not. They're lower in the food chain. Now, I'm not saying they're less valuable, but like Hammy's position is a step up. So, yeah, she's a step up. or he's a step up. All right, back to the Incursion store. I need one more pull on the building, and then I'm going to put the rest into just Lorca SP. Because I have 2 pulls left. How can we see how long we've been in the game? You can't. There is no way to see that. Now, we're working on a way to see that on STFC.pro, but there is no way via Scopely to see that. Yes, VIPs aren't as VIP as we think. I try to tell you all that, but then there's so many people who are like, well, they only listen to VIPs. I'm like, is it on the Scopely site? Nope. Like I said, there's no way to look it up, but we're working on a way to do it on STFC.pro. So, any source for tactical cores outside of Armada chest? There's technically one. I'm not a huge fan of it in terms of like, it depends on where you're at with your gameplay. But in your away team store, you've got the ACC and Armory combo deal, which will give you 5,000 if you need more of the rare cores. Well, technically, if you need any of the cores. All right, so I can do 1 level here now. Speed that up. And then we'll go ahead and get this upgraded. Very nice. Are mirror hostiles and classes invading entities? No. Invading entities are only Chimera, Crenum solos, and Hurok honor guards and vanguards. Hostiles are just hostiles everywhere. There's no such thing as an entity hostile. Those are just hostiles. So everything in mirror, just a regular PvE crew will do you. Good old regular PvE crew will do you. Supposed to be the annual reels from the past couple years. For what, Graduated? In terms of like how long you've been in the game. But even then, they don't drop specifics that I remember. I don't recall them dropping specifics. All right, I got to come back in here and finish doing these pulls. Bulk Refine. Great addition to the game, by the way. Can't wait for bulk research, bulk factions, all the things getting bulk. It's going to be nice. Saving this for when we get, if I get that mission. Durr says this Incursion was worse than before. The improvements were cluster F. See, I'm surprised you said that. I've had pretty overwhelming positive response. Now, granted, if you had bugs and you can't even get over their server, that's a different conversation. But yeah, for the actual scoring changes, I've gotten a lot of positive feedback on the scoring changes. So let's scroll down. I got to finish doing these pulls. I'll work on that later because it's annoying. Let's do these bulk. I assume this means I've got a timer on this. No, I don't. Oh, good. No timer. Don't forget, y'all, tomorrow's Thursday, so Vindicator reminder for tomorrow. Don't forget it like Rev likes to. Don't forget it like Rev likes to. Get those pulls in, and then, of course, make sure you're doing this so that you can do the free-to-play 10K task when it appears here in your tournaments. So you got tournaments going on right now. Make sure you're doing your free-to-play task. Help Patrol find the podcast. It's on my website, revdeuce.com, in the members-only area. So, oop, wrong button. Here, it's in the members only. So we do have this one out for everybody, but it is a membership site to support my family. And part of that is getting access to the podcast. So Glenn says scoring was worse. Doesn't fix people throwing event. Makes it worse as they give ships to enemy. Again, I think we're talking about individual bad cases, and I agree those are bad. But overall, we've definitely seen closer Incursion matches and positive feedback on it. Keep in mind, guys, you're never going to fix Incursions perfect. You can't stop people from being butts. It's just never going to happen. There's nothing that you can do to stop people who hate your server for whatever reason from being butts. You can try to mitigate that, and the scoring changes definitely mitigate that, but you're never going to be able to stop that problem completely if you're on a server that y'all hate each other so much that you throw it. That's never going to get fixed. At the same time, you can try to mitigate it, and I definitely think that it was mitigated, or there's an improvement here that is helping mitigate it, but that improvement still needs more tweaking. But you're never going to reach a point where people aren't going to be able to do stuff like that. That's never going to happen. So the point was, did it make it closer? And on the grander scheme, it did. It still needs more improvements, but I definitely enjoyed Incursions more than I usually do. And then most of the feedback I've gotten are the same. But end of the day, like Sean says, people are people, right? And if y'all have a big issue with each other, Scopely can't fix that. You know, it's at some point, hopefully y'all learn to kumbaya, or it never cooms and bayas. It just never happens. Might have actually won today, first time in a long time. We weren't in a server war, then boom, 7-day shield with 1 hour left. Yeah, now it's like I personally can't complain about that. Like, I appreciate it happening, but at the same time, I think because of that, there's an argument to be made for a comp to be out to everybody. And where are the Zindi Armadas? They are over here in Zindi space. So if you go to territory, just go all the way up to the top right here. And we're currently running in Torgoth, or the rares, and the uncommons are over in Hinzir, however you pronounce that. That's where they're at. So, Hinzir. Yeah, it's definitely bad timing, Tim. At the same time, I do appreciate Scopely looking out for its player base, and I get it. Not everybody's going to be affected by the tsunami, but I still appreciate them looking out for the player base. I think that's a good move, and I do really appreciate when they do that. So, I think that's a good move. All right. Harrison in the tournament store, does he still have value / use for G5, G6 players? Very, very niche use. There are definitely situations you can find use for him. It's very niche, but sure. I would say, again, going by like how you're ranking value of Alliance tournament items, that's not super high in the ranking. But if you've gotten everything else, like if you're like Moose, who was in here earlier and has all the things, well then sure, go ahead and get that. We're going to get premium mirror research dust other than the Terran store. Events. For example, these new events that just came out, the Flashpoint events, that pays out premium mirror. The Zen Deep event, which is actually running right now, pays out premium mirror. Those would be the two main other places to get premium mirror dust in the game right now. Really tempted, actually. You know what? Not even tempted. I'm going to dump into that. And then I'm also going to dump into Andy Billups. One hour was not going to affect the outcome of most of the servers. You're right. Probably not most, but are there servers it affected? Yes. There were definitely some very close matchups. If y'all go to stfc.pro, y'all can see some really close matchups. Will that account for the majority? Absolutely not. But yeah. Random, anybody here from server 94 by chance? Is there anybody here from server 94? I know this is very random, coming out of left field. Was anybody in the chat from server 94? I know, very, very random. And yes, John, I'm aware. Well, John, that doesn't help me, so I don't know why you bothered saying that. Is anybody here from 94? If so, I need to hit y'all up. Or you need to hit me up. Werner, I have no idea. I don't talk to that person. You ready to jump from 49 to 53, except for my ACC building? I would say you need to get to 50 and build an epic. If I'm choosing what I would do on your account, I would say go to 50 and build an epic. And yes, Steven, they are hiring a new community manager here in STFC. They're hiring a new CM. Yeah, King, exactly. I'm trying to follow up on the Incursion stuff. In fact, I have one of the Scopely employees talking to me about it now, and they had no idea Server 94 had never done an Incursions, even though Server 94 is 3 years old. So I'm actually talking to one of the Scopely employees right here on the side on my other monitor, because Server 94 right here has never gotten to run Incursions, and they would really like to. Now, they don't have a ton of people, but, neither does 93. Launched in December 2022. Never had incursions. Doesn't have a lot of spenders on that server apparently, but still. They've never run an incursion. Not once. Now, there are a couple of servers that have never run an incursion. But like 717 is brand new. So, I'll go ahead and get a little screenshot. This server's 3 years old and has never run an incursion. So, if you're on server 94, reach out to me on Discord, please, because I am talking to them. Hit me up. I know this is completely random, had nothing to do with what we were just talking about, but if you're on server 94, hit me up because I'm talking to them about getting y'all incursions. Because if nothing else, look, y'all are missing out on upgrade materials, rewards, things like that. And Colin, this is just for Grandmaster. But yeah, if you're on server 94, please reach out to me. And I've got to wrap up stream because it's 1:30. If you want to be part of more streams, hey, there's 400 of y'all here. Like the video and come hang out with us on Twitch tonight. We're going to try to do a lot of giveaways tonight. We're going to try to do a sub goal because we're trying to get back to 1,000 subs. So we're going to try to have a sub goal tonight of 200 subs. But if we hit that, we have a lot of giveaways we're going to do. So greatly appreciate y'all for being here. Live long and plunder. Stay safe out there. Deuces. If you need anything from me, message me. I'll definitely try to help you out. That's my job, and I love it. So, hit you on the next one. See you tonight, and appreciate y'all for being here.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.